It's about money. And it's about us, as you've framed, subsidizing other people making money. And here's something to consider, that there's class analysis, class awareness, rather. Class awareness is when you realize that on any social issue, there are two sides of the fence, and you figure out which side of the fence you're on in the debate. Class analysis is figuring out who's there with you. And NB Power and the sale of NB Power does such a significant job in this province to identify the fence and who's on which side. And it breaks through, and sir, you mentioned it's a no-win situation. I respectfully disagree, because I think this is an issue in New Brunswick where in fact we can push back. And we're able to push back because it's becoming readily apparent. We're using technology, we're using town hall meetings to get the message out. I haven't met anyone who's come to these town hall meetings that talked to us at the back of the room and said, you know what, you didn't convince us. And it's about getting the message, and it's about people understanding. And if someone did an analysis of the Telegraph Journal last Friday, just last Friday, there were 8 stories in the Telegraph Journal that were interpreted as pro-sale. There was 0 on the other side. And it wasn't hit you in the face, it was all very subtle. And we've got to be very careful, but now we're privileged to have that information. We're privileged in this room to have that analysis. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to say, oh, same old, same old, same old? No, there's people that are saying, no way. I never joined a picket line. I never walked with people. I never come to a rally. You see the demographics and the people at rallies in front of the Legislature Assembly on this, and who are at the MLA offices. It's not your usual suspects. No. People are getting turned on. And people are asking, well, what is it that I can do?
I was beside a 70-year-old lady at the rally in Fredericton. It was so cool.
I just wanted to make a comment on I think, like, looking into the future, like historian looking back, that there's more than one issue. There's always more than one issue at play. Thinking some of those big things in the Federation, and even the government itself has more than one issue within the government for supporting things, because parties are sort of coalitions. But it does seem to fit into, someone mentioned the tax thing. What I've seen in St. John is subversion of process. I kind of grew up with a handicap. Like, don't be worried, my mother's here. Don't worry, Mom, this is not faulting you. My handicap was I'm the son of a lawyer. And I realized many years later what that meant is that I had a real appreciation of process. So when I moved back here in '99, I started seeing a lot of decisions being made where the ends were justifying the means around St. John, Always for money. Always for money, right? And it's amazing what people will say when you hold that green stuff in front of them. The Long Wharf deal,
Gone. It's gone.
I know, but it's gone. But look at how that was put together.
Absolutely.
It was everyone who was in the deal knew about it for a year before the public did, and the press releases were all coordinated day one. The tax thing on the refinery, right? The pipeline through Lockwood Park. It's amazing how things were orchestrated. Put a message out there in the public, and anyone who opposed it was demonized, was belittled, was made to feel like a traitor to their own community, right? It's just, I've lived in 4 or 5 provinces. Prior to moving back here, I've gone to one rally in my life, never wrote a politician, wrote one letter to the editor. And then I moved back here in '99, and it's like Nightmare on Elm Street. Sorry, personally.
I think what you're referring to, Greg, is the expression is cultural hegemony.
Culture shock.
Yeah. Where the powerful will infiltrate the beliefs of the community and use the media to sell their agenda. Doesn't that sound familiar? That's the media.
I think I had a question.
Greg just reminded me of the Facebook group, which keeps me up late at night and gets me up early in the morning, like a lot of other people who say, what am I doing up at this hour? Why aren't you asleep? Greg, I think, did a piece in the Facebook today, Greg Marquis, that in about 2008, we have almost the same circulation as the Telegraph Journal in there, right? So we're driving at is that we're trying to counter what Tom Mann just said. And we'd invite you to join us there. You can go to Tom Mann's, the coalition site, MB Power Not For Sale, and you'll find the Facebook tab there to come to us if you want to go on Facebook. If you do, join. One man told 7 friends in Facebook about this deal. 10 days later, he had 10,000 friends. That was too late for us to be able to message. Once you get over 5,000 friends in there, you can't message it. It looks like spam. So we've created chapters. There is a St. John chapter. And we would tell you, you know, like last night, that we were going to be on the street at noon today with an 86-year-old leading us, actually. And we will be there again Monday out of the foot of the market, St. John City Market, and we'll let you know what the route is that Monday. And we'll keep doing that until we get to shut Fredericton down on the 20th of March. Thank you.
Kurt, and then I'll go back. So Kurt.
Greg, you mentioned process, and something that I grew to appreciate in my dealings with NB Power was the regulator, and the fact that, you know, when I would go and intervene, you know, I was paid pennies compared to the industry lawyers that were in the room at the same time, but I was treated as an equal. And I think it's tragic that the Utilities Board has not been involved in this process whatsoever. But I also see it as an opportunity for the opponents of the sale. You have mentioned, Tom, that you're looking at all legal channels possible.
That we can afford.
Well, a letter is a very easy thing to afford, and I would suggest that you write to the Utilities Board asking for comment on the proposed deal, because the government doesn't seem ready to ask them for comment. And as someone who saw NB Power up close and saw the regulator up close, I can say to you that the regulator is much more interested in protecting all ratepayers than either party in the New Brunswick legislature. And so, you know, the worst you can do is write to them and get and receive a no. If you receive a no, then the question of process becomes very legitimate, because if they're not willing to look at this agreement, then why should we have a regulator?
Yeah, again, on that, if you recall back after MOU 1, Danny Terrio, he came out in favor of the deal, and he's the public intervener. New Brunswick is a small place, and the degrees of separation, as I mentioned earlier, are very, very small. And you know, you do the pedigree on Mr. Terrio, and you trace him back to his law partner and his law partnership before he took.
Not to mention his brother.
And not to mention his brother. So it's a very good suggestion.
Thank you. My name is Carol McDonald, and I just wanted to say thank you for providing us with an opportunity to come out to hear the panelists again this evening. I had an opportunity to attend at the Power Summit in Moncton, and it was my first opportunity to become as educated as Professor Ganron has hopefully made the rest of you this evening, because it was from attending that summit that encouraged and motivated me to become very active in the coalition. I've been one of those people who have stood on those cold, wintry corners, the one in St. John last week, all over Fredericton and everywhere else. I have written my MLA, I've made phone calls, and I would encourage all of you to get behind the coalition and to take advantage of all of the things that Tom Mann has put forward about becoming part of the mobilization. Because it's only united and together that we'll be able to turn this thing around, because we can't do it alone. I can't do it. But I'll tell you, hand in hand with each and every one of you, we can. So thank you very much for bringing this for us.